What is going on, guys? Snickel here, and today I have another 100% video for you guys. Today I'm going to be getting the 100% in Amy on the PlayStation 3. Now the last trophy that I do have to get is Survivor Hard, which is to finish the game in hard mode. I actually am going to pop all three of the difficulty-based trophies at the same time. This one pops first, the easy mode pops last. I don't know why it does it that way, but anyway, with all that being said, let's get right into this video. I was streaming this on Twitch. I do live stream all my Platinum Trophies, 100%, and various other things over there. So if you want to go follow me, there's a link down in the description below. So I am doing the final boss fight here, and we're doing a little bit of a cheese to beat this. So if you are struggling through this, you can use the method that I'm using here. But I would not really suggest to play this game unless you kind of want to play an old, really bad PS3 game when it comes down to it. Now, this game does only have 6 chapters to play through. The first chapter or 2 are pretty easy to get through. The last chapter is just this boss fight here. But chapters 3, 4, and 5 can be quite a headache, and I was having quite a hard time, or not really hard time, but I was kind of having quite an annoyance with chapter 5, and I think it kind of came down to me just not having enough patience and wanting to kind of finish the game. But actually, it wasn't chapter 5, it was chapter 4 that I was having quite an annoyance with. Chapter 5, you kind of have to sneak around, and you have to be a little stealthy getting through that, but chapter 5, or chapter 4, you have to do some combat stuff. I think you can sneak around, but I just wasn't having any luck with it, and all in all, I was not enjoying it, to say the least. I didn't think that the game was the worst, I guess you could say. I was making some comments on stream when I was pretty frustrated because there are aspects of the game that are really bad, that being the fact of the combat. Chapter 4 was really tilting me because when it came down to it, you could sneak through the level and do stuff that way, but it really wasn't playing that way. You did have to kind of get into combat, and the combat is weird because it seems that it's more based on timing more than your actual hitbox, but then sometimes the timing doesn't work correctly, so it's kind of inconsistent. You'll time stuff and you'll do stuff perfectly, you know, every single time that you play through, maybe off by like, you know, half a second or whatever, something like that. You may not be exactly hitting the button at the same exact time every time, but you know, you're within this window, and the window that you're within, if you kind of step out of that window, you press the button out of that window, then you just don't have any luck, and you're going to end up getting hit when it comes down to it. So all in all, the combat is kind of really clunky when it comes down to it. The puzzle solving isn't too bad, and I think it was chapter 3 that had a good amount of puzzle solving, which I thought fit the game well, especially since the game is kind of centered around Amy. Amy's the little kid, and she just has like special abilities, and she can do certain things and you can do certain things. So like, for instance, you can climb ladders, but she can't. But then she can like break like wooden like slats, and you can't because she has these special abilities. So I think they had a good opportunity when it came down to puzzle solving to really put some puzzles in, but for some reason there was too many chapters that were, I think, centered around combat rather than being centered around the core mechanics of the game and actually trying to be somewhat of a puzzle solver, which is like, okay, you want to add some combat in, go right ahead, but when you have a whole chapter that's kind of based on that combat, that's what kind of was tilting me over the edge. I think this was a PS Plus game, maybe not a PS Plus game, but it was a really cheap back in the day. Like I said, if you want to play a nice little shitter PS3 game, it's a 100%, there's no platinum or anything, but you can get through it. It can be quite annoying and everything, but all in all, it's doable to get through. I think it, you know, takes around 10 hours, but we'll get to the statistics and everything at the end, and I'll give my breakdown. But yeah, if you're looking for like a little shitter game here, you know, this is going to be the one that you want. Also, for this last boss fight, Amy kept like following me back and forth, and she kept getting in my way. Like she would kind of like push me away, and I'm like, yo, I'm trying to hit my mans here, like, can you back up? And then I realized that you can kind of tell her to like sit over in the corner, and then the boss just like follows you instead of following her. So I don't know why I didn't do that earlier, but yeah, she's just chilling over there on the end, and I'm just going to be doing work. And again, this boss fight is like a little bit of a cheese here because you just kind of get this guy in these motion sensors, and then when he goes to actually do his attack, he moves too fast, and it shocks him, and then you can hit him with the crowbar. So a little bit of a cheese there, but, you know, I'm going to do what I need to do considering the bullshit that I went through in Chapter 4. So there we go. There's our final blow on him, final hit on him. and something's happening. And then, yeah, they kind of set this game up for a sequel, but it didn't get one, and kind of glad it didn't, because that would not have been, it probably wouldn't have been good. So there's Survivor Hard. That's the trophy that we were going for hard mode. We are also going to get Survivor Normal, because the difficulties do stack. Praise the Lord for that one. And then we will get Survivor Easy as well. It's going to come eventually. Come on. It's taking its time. There we go. Survivor Easy. So all three of those finally beat Amy. It really wasn't something that I was planning on doing. It wasn't really in the backlog, but it got brought up on stream. But anyway, let's take a look at this list. Here it is, 100%, no DLC or anything. Thank the Lord for that one. But as you look through the trophy list here, you're going to see that there's trophies for beating every chapter. I think there's 4 random trophies that you can earn pretty easily as you're playing through the game. Then your 3 difficulty-based trophies. So there's nothing really to this list. Just beat the game on the hardest difficulty and you'll probably get everything done. But beating on hardest difficulty can be a headache. So anyway, here's the profile. Trophy level 43, 8%. Got 11,276 total trophies. I've got 7,748 bronze, 2,490 silver, 877 gold, 161 platinums, and like I said, 11,276 total trophies if you're into that numbers kind of stuff. And there's no platinum trophy or anything, so we'll just do a little bit of gameplay here to finish it up. This is actually the level that was driving me crazy the night that I was playing through, and this was the run that I beat it, so you guys all get to see what the hell I did. You're not going to be able to listen to the rage, but you know, whatever. So anyway, if you're looking for a little shitter PS3 game, I would definitely suggest to pick it up. I mean, like I said, the problem with this game is that it's focused too much around the combat and not really like the puzzle aspects, which I feel like it should be centered around because of you and Amy and the whole contamination process and everything like that. So I don't think it capitalizes on the strong parts of the game. Now, I know I said pick it up if you want to. I wouldn't really put this up there as like a top tier game to pick up. If you're looking for like a shitter game or just like a unique game that not a lot of people have on their list, I would highly suggest it, but I wouldn't go out of your way to pick it up because, again, it does have flaws. It does have some issues with it, that being the hitbox, like right there. I perfectly dodged it the way I would have dodged anything else, and the dude still hit me, so I don't know what's going on there. So, again, if you're, I know I keep saying it, and I'm just the king of it when it comes to it, but if you're looking for a nice little shitter PS3 game that not a lot of people have, now I'm not going to say a hidden gem here for this one because that's not really what it is. I wouldn't consider this a hidden gem, but if you're looking for a game that's kind of outside of the norm, this is totally a game that you can pick up. And I don't really know how much it runs for. I think it's cheaper, but I could be mistaken. So anyway, let's get into some numbers kind of stuff. So what would I rate this out of 10? I would probably give this like a 4 or 5 out of 10. And the only reason for that is because of the hard difficulty. You know what? I'll give it like a 5 out of 10. And again, it's for the hard difficulty, and it's just for a few chapters when it comes down to it. One of the chapters being this one right here, and I think chapter 2, or I think it might have been 3. One of the other chapters had some decent amount of combat in it. Luckily, you could kind of utilize Amy for some of the combat with her like abilities, but if it didn't come down to the combat, or the combat actually worked better, I wouldn't think it would be as difficult, but the combat is what makes it so difficult. So 5 out of 10, time it takes to get the 100%, you're probably looking at anywhere between 8 to 10 hours. It really depends on how fast you can get through these levels. Like this level right here that I struggled on, I played this for about an hour and a half just on this one little section trying to get through it. If you're able to get through it on your first try, this level in and of itself can take you 5 to 10 minutes. So it just comes down to luck, skill, I guess it comes down to, and if you can kind of get through the hard difficulty without any issues, and you can kind of not have to deal with that bullshit. So again, 5 out of 10, 8 to 10 hours, I would say it averages. If you're able to get through these levels extremely fast, you're probably looking at 6 hours. You can do it in just one playthrough. You are given the hard difficulty right away, obviously, as we saw in the video here. So again, 5 out of 10. 8 to 10 hours, I'll leave it at that. Anyway, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like down in the comments below. Let me know anything about this game if you've played it or anything like that. There's a bunch of links down in the description below, links to my Twitter, my Twitch, other videos like this, my Platinum videos. So if you want to go check any of those out, I would greatly appreciate it. Like I said, if you did enjoy the video, be sure to leave a like. If you've made it this far and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing for more trophy content like this, and I hope to see you all around sometime soon.